We collect our own stats and then we present that at the meetings. By no means are they official stats, so please don't quote us or the police on that, but it's just to give the police and the council and the panelists who come here an idea of what's being reported within the community. We'll then have an update from Inspector John. We work with him very closely and he's been really, really supportive. There's a lot of work happening, so we'll hear from him. And then, like I said, we've got Tony Moran talking about Tameside, and then we have an update from the councillor. And then we've had an incident that occurred in Shea Lane, which led to a very active neighbourhood watch scheme, and we've got the residents over here, Dr. Amir Hanan and Gary, and they'll be talking about it as well, and what they did, and what lessons we can learn, and what we can do from it. And then, of course, we have lots of questions. So we want to try and cover all the talks within an hour and a quarter, and then leave about 45 minutes for questions, if that's okay. Yeah.
Keep it short.
Yeah, keep it short. Thank you. All right, so just to give you an update, from the policing point of view, I need to see these figures. So it's about 20,000 more police all across the UK, but we're getting about 500 of them. 300 in Manchester, but that doesn't mean all of them are coming to South Trafford. So we're going to get a lot lesser, and I'm sure John will be able to tell us when we'll be able to see some of them coming through, but I think there's all the recruitment process and all that. We then have a district task team that's looking at burglary rates and responses, and they target specifically burglaries within the WA area. We had Sir Graham Brady, who attended the meeting in October, and what he wanted was really was talking about change in sentencing so that more violent crimes are dealt with more with longer sentencing. And also he was stressing about WA residents really reporting crime and letting the police and there are also Crime Stoppers be aware of what's happening, inform the MPs, inform the councillors, to let them know about events that are happening in your area. We'd had a meeting with the GMCA, the Greater Manchester Combined Authority, and there were quite a lot of points that we had taken up with them. So the National Probation Service has been reinstated I think from April 2020, so it had been kind of suspended for a few years, but it's coming back on. Also there's a review of the victim support initiative, so that wasn't working as expected, but there is an initiative for reviving it and improving it, and we are in discussion with some of the police representatives working on victim support. So we've been told there'll be no special burglary units, and that's because there's a combined police pool which is expected to work on different crime areas and then really develop skills across all of them, so they don't want anyone to be too specialised in one area and be deficient in addressing other crimes. There was another request to have the Altrincham police station open 24/7 to the public. And I think, John, sorry, I forgot to mention it to you, but we did discuss it with them, and they said it's not up to GMCA, it's up to the local policing authorities to decide on whether they want to do that. So now from the council, there are CCTVs that are being put up across Trafford, and that's really on need basis on whether there is more crime happening in a certain area opposed to some other area. And they're all wired for now, but there is a plan approximately in 18 months' time to have them wireless. And again, there was a stress by the council to report any incidents to Crime Stoppers, and that's the number there. From the community perspective, again, talking about neighbourhood watch schemes, ourwatch.org.uk, and I'm sure Tony and John will tell you more about it. That's the place to register your neighbourhood watch scheme. So you can then start getting updates and emails and all that. there was a request to get more youth workers and more youth projects off the ground to just keep the young off the road and hopefully reduce crime, because it's all connected. Now, crime prevention is important. Again, home watch schemes are very effective and really do help in reducing crime if we are alert as neighbours and we watch out for each other. And then obviously there's a need to address the causes of crime and then try as a long-term solution to try and do something about it. We also had the Justice of Peace attend the meeting in October. So from the magistrate's point of view, it was there are most crime cases they start and end at the magistrate's court, and they're not all of them are kind of publicised or printed in the media, so we don't get to know a lot about it. And also on paper, a criminal can appear to walk free, but they do have very tough community sentences that they need to go in for, and which is actually quite a deterrent for them from reoffending. So although they may appear to walk free, they actually do have community sentences to go through. So that's the update from October. Now, following on from then, what's happened is that the Be Safe, Feel Safe group, i.e. this group that's running this, has been nominated as the Trafford Borough Neighbourhood Watch Association. For now, I'm the primary contact. My name is Rahil Siddiqui. I also chair Be Safe, Feel Safe. So I'm the contact for that. Of course, in future, we're going to let this build, and if in future there's somebody else who would like to take this role up, I'd be really happy to get that person on board. Now, we've also had conversations with the council, in specific the strategic manager for crime and antisocial behaviour, on distributing safety items. There are some of them on display here, but we didn't manage for this meeting to get the safety items we put forward on order. But it's really to distribute for free to the community. Things like Faraday pouches and card defenders, UV property marking pens, some of them are here, window alert alarm, stickers, alarms, personal alarms. That's really nice. I actually have one personal alarm for my boy, because he walks back from school sometimes, and it's nice, you pull it and it makes a horrible noise, and you push it back in and it stops. So, just small things, but for our personal safety. So whenever we do get it, hopefully at the next meeting we'll be able to distribute it to yourselves. And then of course we keep having conversations with the police to set up more street neighbourhood watch schemes, and have the Stratford Borough scheme where we can meet regularly, and we as a community come together, we know each other and we help each other. So that's really key. Some of the stats that we, again, like I said, with a disclaimer that these are the reports that we have received on our WhatsApp group, and we've seen the number of crimes reported between the period of August and January 2019, and if you can see the areas for which the WhatsApp group operates, there have been about 35 in Hale Barnes. So the last time we saw Hale on the top, but this time we've seen a lot more incidents happening in Hale Barnes, and then Hale comes second. So, and then we had other reports from other areas outside of these key ones, which we put in others. So, and the kind of crimes reported majority was burglaries really, but then we had robberies, suspicious people and suspicious activities. Joyriders has become quite a nuisance really, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but that's been quite a problem in Hale Village. And then we've had other things, I think we've had fewer armed robberies this time. I think we had more in July, August of the year. So those are the kinds of stats we've collected.